In a previous video, I addressed some of the criticisms that have been thrown at Dave Ramsey. I also compared a little bit of Dave Ramsey's philosophy to Robert Kiyosaki, author of the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And to balance it out, we talked a little bit about the book, The Millionaire Next Door, that came out about 40 years ago. In this video, I'm going to drill down and go a little bit deeper into their philosophies, criticisms, and some other things that I learned about all three of these resources. So here you go, 3 different approaches to personal finances. In one corner from the South, residing in Tennessee, a down-home folksy, hard-working, intelligent man with a Bible in his back pocket, Dave Ramsey. In the other corner, we have Robert Kiyosaki, originally from Hawaii, residing in Arizona. He looks a little bit like Wayne Newton. While Dave believes in common sense, hardworking, saving, investing, getting out of debt, Robert Kiyosaki has a different approach. He loves entrepreneurship, investing in real estate, silver, and gold. In fact, Robert Kiyosaki hates Dave Ramsey. You'll see videos out there about him. In the third corner, we have Thomas Stanley and William Danko, authors of The Millionaire Next Door. They're from New York, and they take a research academic approach to personal finances. Let's start with Dave Ramsey. Who is he? What's his philosophy? What's his approach to helping people? Well, Dave's audience tends to be middle-income people, middle Americans who have a lot of debt, no savings, not a good budget, and they just live from paycheck to paycheck. Those are the kind of people that Dave built his empire. Dave has figured out a simple formula for helping them. He calls the 7 baby steps. Step 1, save $1,000 for your starter emergency fund. The purpose of that is for emergencies that come up so you don't have to use credit cards or increase your debt as you get started. Baby step number 2, pay off all debt as soon as possible using the debt snowball method that Dave advocates. You live frugally and you take all your extra income and you pay off all your debt as soon as possible. You tear up your credit cards and you avoid debt going into the future if at all possible. Step 3, save 3 to 6 months of expenses in a fully funded emergency fund. So if something really big happens, you don't have to go into debt. You don't have to go into your investments. If you're self-employed, Dave would recommend, I think, 12 to 18 months of expenses in your emergency fund. Step 4, invest 15% of your household income towards retirement. Step 5, save for your children's college education. Step 6, pay off your home early. And then step 7, you build more wealth and you increase your generosity. This overall approach, as you can see, involves minimizing spending, closely tracking your expenses, and budgeting and giving from the start, not waiting till step 7. It's an all-hands-on-deck approach to personal finances, with little wiggle room for fun or for nice things. You get creative to reward yourself with things that aren't expensive. Let's talk a little bit about Dave's organization, which he has several. What I estimate about $1 billion in gross revenue per year. Through his affiliates, his books, his online classes that he sells so institutions can offer them to their people, YouTube videos, his radio program, everything that he's put out there is producing a source of revenue for his companies, including outside affiliate arrangements and referrals to his financial coaching network, which I'm not really a part of at the moment. Not bad for a company that started in 1992, just over 30 years ago. Dave has helped more people than anybody in the last 3 decades to get out of financial difficulty or to avoid it. Does Dave or any of his companies have legal difficulties? Well, there is a class action lawsuit originating from a company he affiliated his organization with. This organization was designed to help people get out of costly timeshares. I guess that company went out of business and they paid Dave Ramsey's organization millions of dollars. So there's a class action suit against Dave Ramsey or one of his organizations from people that bought into that and they're trying to recover some of their costs. Additionally, a few prior employees have sued Dave and either the cases were thrown out of court or they settled. Those could be indications of a toxic work environment. I don't know. I haven't done the research on that fully to come to that conclusion. Criticisms. As I mentioned in a prior video, financial planners say his cookie-cutter approach to his investment portfolio design is too simplistic, his rates of return assumptions are too high, and the percentage of income that you can take safely from an investment account, save for retirement, are too high. Those are all valid criticisms. Consumers complain that a very frugal approach to getting out of debt is not realistic, but that's just personal preference. The criticism that I have is I don't care for how he sometimes comes across harsh and name-calling, but for millions of people, he has and will continue to help them. Personally, I don't care for name-calling. I don't care for a bullying kind of attitude. I prefer to approach people with respect and not any guilt or shame or making people feel bad in a negative way to try to get them respond positively. All right, what about Robert Kiyosaki? Robert published his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, in 1997. The book is a narrative where he compares how a rich dad lived versus a poor dad. Some research indicates that the rich dad didn't exist. The poor dad was Robert's father, who tried to manage his finances the conventional way and wasn't able to accumulate wealth, compared to the other father that Robert Kiyosaki might have fabricated, who became rich through entrepreneurship. Robert became rich through selling his books in seminars that he would charge people to attend and other business ventures. His main philosophy is as follows: financial and business education. That's number one. Robert emphasizes the importance of financial literacy from a standpoint of business ownership. Number two, assets versus liability. One of Robert Kiyosaki's fundamental lessons is distinguishing between assets and liabilities. Robert defines assets as things that put money in your pocket and liabilities as things that take money out. He encourages investing in assets like real estate, gold, silver, and businesses. He does not favor cash. He does not favor stock. In fact, his view on liabilities can have some validity, but debt is a liability, actually. But Robert doesn't look at it quite that way. Number three, entrepreneurship and investing. Kiyosaki advocates for creating multiple income streams through entrepreneurship and smart investing. Number four, mindset shift. Kiyosaki emphasizes the need to shift from a mindset of working for money to making money work for you. He takes a negative view towards employment and education in traditional career-related success. Number five, risk-taking and learning from failure. Kiyosaki believes in taking calculated risks and learning from failures as part of the journey to financial success. Kiyosaki often speaks about embracing mistakes as valuable learning opportunities. Self-reliance and control. Number six, Kiyosaki stresses the importance of being in control of one's financial future. He encourages individuals to rely on their financial knowledge and decision-making rather than solely depending on traditional financial advice or planners or financial institutions. So how does Kiyosaki differ from Dave? Again, Dave believes in traditional financial advice or institutions, where Kiyosaki favors using debt, and perhaps a lot of debt, since he claims his real estate holdings carry over $1 billion in debt. Compared to Dave Ramsey, who believes in living a debt-free lifestyle in business, Kiyosaki disagrees. So let's talk a little bit about bankruptcy. Dave will tell you up front that bankruptcy led him to start his financial improvement empire. While researching Robert Kiyosaki, I see where he's become bankrupt through several business adventures, at least 4. What do I think about Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert's message of entrepreneurship, having your money work for you? I think that's good. Self-education, hard work, taking ownership, those are great. General life and business life is okay. That's helpful. Robert's negative on saving, stocks, careers, and college. Parts of this position have validity, but I think it lacks a little bit of balance. Robert is very positive to gold and silver and real estate, but these are things that can be highly speculative. And unless you really understand how to invest in these things, it isn't something you should just jump into without doing a lot of work and a lot of self-education. Most real estate investors and most people that have invested in gold and silver will tell you on their road to riches that they lost a lot of money through their school of hard knocks. So I would go down that path with a lot of caution. But there is some validity in some of the things he teaches. Robert says he is wealthy from his business and his real estate holdings. It seems as if he has made more money through selling books and seminars than it does his business ventures. In contrast to Ramsey and Kiyosaki is the book, The Millionaire Next Door: The Surprising Secrets of Americans Wealthy, by Thomas Stanley and William Danko. They provide insights and habits into the characteristics of America's millionaires. This book challenges common perceptions of wealth by illustrating how many millionaires live frugally and prioritize financial independence over conspicuous consumption. Here's my outline of their key themes. Number 1, common myths about wealth. The book begins by addressing the myths surrounding what it means to be wealthy, emphasizing that many millionaires live modestly and are not easily recognizable, because they don't have a luxury lifestyle. Number two, the wealth accumulation formula that these folks have accumulated through frugality. They've invested through frugality. Number three, frugal, 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 living below your means. The book concludes that many of these hidden millionaires that live next door to you and me value the importance of frugality and budgeting as essential components of building wealth. Number four, avoiding lifestyle inflation. Many of the millionaires that they studied avoid increasing their spending in proportion to their income throughout their life. This enabled them to invest more and more as they got older. Number five, the Millionaire Next Door folks that they researched valued avoiding consumer debt, much like Dave Ramsey preaches, as key to accumulating wealth. Overall, the Millionaire Next Door emphasizes the importance of discipline, frugality, and strategic planning in achieving financial success, challenging the stereotypical image of lavish spenders of the wealthy. Not aware of any lawsuits against the Millionaire Next Door people. In fact, Stanley and his daughter wrote a new book called The Next Millionaire Next Door, which is really interesting to me because it includes perspectives from the daughter looking back at the original information in the first book. So you might ask me, are there any criticisms about the Millionaire Next Door? I don't find anything that I would criticize about this book. I find that its research information is quite interesting and quite challenging. The one observation, though, that I would add in this context is not everyone is quite a fit in their career or in their family to be able to abide by the Millionaire Next Door philosophies, but we can learn a lot from them. There you have it, almost completely 3 different approaches to personal finances. Hopefully, by comparing them, that you can learn a little bit or maybe a lot from all 3 of these financial celebrities and authors. If you like this video, please subscribe and like below. Thank you so much.